welcome back to my channel. This is Jen Heward, Honey Buns Fit. You can call me Jen, you can call me Honey Buns, you call me Buns, you call me whatever you want. But we're coming back with another great video, and this is going to be all about pre and post workout meals, the importance of them. So I'm going to kind of break it down why having a pre-workout and having a post-workout, or even an intra-workout drink, shake, meal, snack, whatever it is very, very important to help you achieve your goals. And if you're not doing them, maybe that's why you're having a hard time reaching your goals. Alright, so I know most of us are currently guilty of this. I have been guilty of it at one point, but we either, majority of us, do not eat anything or enough, or we wait too long before our workout. And I think most of you are going to probably fall into the category of you don't eat anything at all. And majority of us don't even intake anything right after our workout, or we wait too long, or we intake the wrong things. So breaking down what are the best options to have before a workout and have during a workout, or even have after. Now, it always depends on your goals. We're going to break down a pre and post workout meal and how much, or within the vicinity of how much you should be taking, and when and how. I mean, all the good stuff to help you better achieve your goals. When you're working out, doesn't matter what it is, it could be for weight loss, maintain, or gain. When you're working out, what are you doing? You're expending energy. You're expending your whatever you've intaked, calories, glycogen, whatever food you've intaked, whatever's in there, your body is going to use it for fuel. It's going to help you get through your workout, because your body needs energy. It needs energy to achieve what you're trying to achieve in your workout. Exercise can even be, you know, walking to and from your car, shopping. It could be really anything that requires you to lift, push, move around. Your body is using energy, and it's also using glycogen. What is glycogen? Glycogen is #1 energy source for your body, that your body depends on, that it goes for. Glycogen comes from complex carbs, which is going to be rice, potatoes, oatmeal, quinoa. It can be breads, tortillas, rice cakes, things like that. And then you have your simple carbs, which come from your fruits and vegetables. Now, your body has a natural way of doing things, and it depends on glycogen, glucose, which comes from your carb sources. Your body goes through a process. It breaks down these food sources and separates out the different things it needs. One of them is going to be glucose, and that glucose gets broken down, gets stored in muscle fibers and in fat tissue, and they stay there until your body needs them. It taps into that energy source when you're doing anything specific. It can be exercise. Depending on the intensity of that exercise, your body is going to require a certain amount. And then just walking, sitting, talking, picking things up, moving, cleaning house, going grocery shopping, whatever it is, your body also still requires energy for that. Not quite the same as if you're doing exercise, but you can see how your body is constantly needing energy to function normally, to keep you going. Now, let's say you started your day with a good meal, your protein, carbs, fats, all different things like that. Your body obviously needs a certain amount to get you through that first part of your morning. Now, once it uses it all up, you know, uses your glycogen stores, depletes them, then you go work out and you haven't replenished that glycogen store. What happens? You don't replenish your energy source, and you go try to go work out. You don't have energy. First of all, you're probably going to notice your lack of performance. You're going to kind of be lethargic. You're not going to be able to think straight. You're going to be like, just no motivation to do anything. Your body's going to have a hard time going and moving. Then what happens is your body is like, well, I don't have an energy source, so what's the first thing it's going to do? It goes into survival mode. It is smart. It knows what to do. It's going to start tapping into fat storage, but also muscle tissue. It's going to start breaking down muscle tissue and fat storage at the same time, to just to compensate the lack of glucose, the lack of energy that's coming from your food sources. That's why we need a constant supply. It's not just, oh, you eat once and then that's it. You can't eat anymore. You have to have a constant supply, and it all depends on the intensity and the amount you're training. Somebody who doesn't train that often isn't going to need as much as somebody who trains often and intense. This is what your body does naturally. When it's lacking something, it's gonna find a way to compensate for what it's lacking. Now, if this kind of pattern is kept up for a long period of time, it can only end up being negative on you, and you can start getting negative results, not the results you want. A lot of people will notice when they do cut out a lot of food and they are kind of starving themselves and they don't have that balance, they may lose weight, but they're also, not only are they losing fat, but they are losing muscle too. And so you're kind of just backtracking is what you're doing. Most of us want to lose fat but maintain muscle, have curves, or depending on your goal, if you want to, you know, gain muscle, you need to intake a certain amount of food for what you're expending. So it's a balance between, you know, what you're eating, what the kind of exercise you're doing, and what your goal is. And you have to know all of that and have a good amount of knowledge to get yourself to that point, to achieve that goal. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of be running in circles, backtracking in circles, backtracking in circles. And I know this from my own experience. Years, I've tried all different ways. I've been guilty of all these, everything I've talked about in my videos. I've done it, I've been there, I've experienced it. And so I just want to share the knowledge with you guys so you can have success just the same way I have. Maybe I can help you avoid making mistakes that I made. A lot of us probably do have a day job, so we work like maybe 8 to 4, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, something like that. So a lot of times most of us will work out early in the morning, or we'll work out after we get off work. Some of us do have flexibility where we can work out whenever, so you have to always time it according to that, to your schedule, because it's different for everybody. I always go for very simple, easy food sources when it comes to pre and post workout meals. I don't try to make it all complicated. I usually leave that to the other meals around the workout. Find that sticking with fruits and protein shakes, especially after a workout, is easy, it's simple, quick digesting, and same thing before I work out as well. I do an intra-workout shake too. Not everybody has to do it, but I personally like to do it because I like a constant supply of glucose and energy. So depending on your day, you have time. I usually like to have one meal and then a pre-workout meal before I work out. I work out most of the time earlier in the day, so usually by the time I get up, by the time I get to the gym, I'm able to have one meal and then a pre-workout meal. And then I'll have my post-workout meal, and then I'll have 3-4 meals after that, all the way up until I go to bed, just depending on how long my day is. And also if I do double training, because I do strength training, and I also do jiu-jitsu and martial arts, so I also play it on that. Some of us do doubles, but I always make sure I compensate for that. Sometimes I'm having 2 pre and post workout meals a day with those different training sessions, and then I have meals in between. It's important to make sure you're fueled and your body is getting what it needs according to what your training is like. Again, it depends on what time you're working out at. Now, because I work out in the mornings, I like to stick with simple meals, simple foods. I usually maybe will do an omelet with some fruit, and veggies, and sometimes I'll add oatmeal in there, and I'll have that as my first meal. And then when it comes to right before I train, so depending on when I'm training, I might have another form of fruit. I will eat a lot of fruit. So I'll have another form of fruit. I stick with, again, you guys know that I've gone to intuitive eating and I've cut out all processed stuff. So I don't do rice cakes, I don't do tortillas, I don't do all that stuff now for any food options. I stick with whole foods, whole nutrient dense foods. After I have my initial meal one, breakfast, I will usually do a fruit. It could be apple, it could be an orange, it can be really anything, banana, I don't care, anything. So once I have my fruit, and I kind of do maybe 30 minutes or so before my workout, and of course I always have my FIBURN. So I intake 1 scoop of this, so it gives me extra energy. It's a thermogenic and a fiber supplement formula all in one. So I'll have this 30 minutes before. And then once I get to the gym and I'm getting ready to work out, I usually will make my little concoction or beforehand, and I do carb blend. So I've talked about this a lot. I considered this process because it goes through a process to be powdered in a container. I like this one. I like the natural one because it doesn't have any added sugars or anything added like that. So I like to stick with natural because I mix it with my Stance BCAAs. This is the pink lemonade one, which is my absolute favorite, but this is your essential amino acids. Your essential means you have to get it from another source. Your body doesn't naturally produce it. Now, these are essential amino acids that are found in meat products that help repair and build muscle tissue, so having this in there only helps repair and recover muscle tissue. So I mix these two together just in water, and I sip on these through my workout. Now, Carbolin basically is a carb drink. So it is in one scoop, well, how much is it? It's like 50 grams of carbs. And so it's in liquid form, which means it's fast digesting, fast absorbing into your system. So your body is going to utilize the glucose a lot quicker than if you were taking in a whole food. So your body has to go through that process to break it down. It takes time for your body then to separate out all the glycogen and use it appropriately. Having a liquid source during your workout is very, very handy, and especially with the amino acids. So I like to stack these two during my workout. So again, I'm getting another extra source of glycogen and glucose, and I'm getting that constant supply of energy through my workout. And it also keeps my body in anabolic. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with anabolic and catabolic, basically anabolic means your body is not breaking down muscle tissue to help you recover or for energy source. Catabolic is where your body is breaking down muscle tissue for whatever it needs to do. It goes into survival mode, and so that's why a lot of us lose fat and muscle, because we end up in catabolic. So doing something like this helps your body not go into that, helps avoid that. So that's by far my favorite thing to do is intaking a simple carb, something that's fast digesting, like a fruit. There are many options out there. You just kind of have to research and find what you want and what you like, what works best for you. And I'll do that, and then I do my little drink concoction during, so I'm getting that constant supply. When we're working out, our body is depleting and using many things to help you achieve whatever it is you're doing. And so I know that glycogen is probably the number one thing that your body depends on for energy source to help you get through your workout, and also to help you achieve your weight loss, weight gain, maintain whatever goals that they are. So right when I'm done working out, I have yet another serving of fruit on hand, and I also have my whey protein. So this is by far my favorite protein I like to use. So it's by Vitasport, and it's we sell this here in our Nutri-Shop, but it's also sold across any other Nutri-Shop across the US. This is by far my favorite protein powder. I've tried many over the years. You're mostly focusing on your essential aminos, your minerals, your vitamins, and all of that when it comes to this whey protein. The vanilla and chocolate are by far my favorites, but I will intake 1 scoop whey protein after every training session. So if I'm training twice, I'm doing 2 shakes. If I don't train at all, I don't do a shake at all. So it's only on my training days, right after my workout. And I intake any form of fruit with that. So you've got your protein, then you've got your simple carbs. So what happens is it's all liquid and a fast digesting simple carb, the high GI. It's fast delivery into your system. So what is it going to do? It's going to help recover and replenish glycogen stores, help recover and repair muscle tissue a lot quicker than if you were to eat a full meal. Because again, when you eat a full meal, it has to go through digestion. It has to go through that process to be broken down. And then your body has to go through that process to separate out everything and convert things to what it needs to, and put it where it needs to go, basically. So that takes time, and it can take anywhere from an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on the food source, depending on how your body is processing things. So you can see how everything's like it's timing with everything. So I like to go for my liquid sources and my fast digesting sources, and fruit and the liquid forms of things are just the easiest to go to when it comes to pre, intra, and post workout. And then you don't have to think about it. You can get creative with that stuff too. And you don't have to get sick of it. So if I train in the morning, I do that whole process. If I train again in the evening, I do that process again. So I do it double sometimes on double days. Now if I don't work out at all, I actually don't intake any of that. I just eat intuitively, and I eat whatever I want, and they come from whole food sources, not a shake. You're trying to lose weight, I think it's very important to have a pre and post workout meal, even intra if you want to do that. Having your meals set up even before your pre and post workout meals, and having enough during the day according to that weight loss goal. Now remember, if you restrict too much for too long, your body's going to naturally go into survival mode. It's going to do it no matter what you do. You're going to plateau. You're going to start backtracking. So you might start gaining weight, or it's going to halt all at once. Now, if you're just trying to maintain, you don't have to worry too much. I'm kind of like in that maintain stage, and I don't really change too much or avert too much from my routine. I have about 4 or 5 meals, like actual whole meals throughout the day, never anything specific, with pre, intra, and post workout meals, snacks, shakes. If you're trying to gain weight, you're gonna probably have to gain muscle. You're gonna probably have to increase your serving sizes with everything quite a bit according to your training, according to your body type. If you guys have watched my past videos on body type, reasons why you're not losing weight loss and weight gain for beginners, all of those videos I break down. It's not one plan is going to work for every single person. You have to base it off body type, you have to base it off your goals, genetics, you have to base it off too also health conditions, if you're on medications or not, various different things like that. They all play a part in your role of achieving your goals. It's very important to understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, before just jumping into something. And I stress that in every single video that I record for you guys. And obviously I share what I do, and I share some of the successes I've had with certain things, and of course share my knowledge with you guys, because I think it's important. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is what's going to help you achieve and be more successful in your journey, whatever that may be. And I've tried various different things over the years, but I find that when most of us do restrict way too much for way too long, or we think that not eating is going to help us, and it's not. I do know one thing, that when you are exercising and you're exercising pretty hard, you have to compensate for that in some way. Otherwise, you're not going to achieve the goals you want, and you're going to find that you're not going to be going anywhere. Again, most of us want to feel good, we want to look good, we want to be lean, we want to have curves, we want to have curves all in the right area. And so when you set up your day according to that, and appropriately according to that, you're going to achieve that. You're going to be more successful. But that's why I'm sharing this with you guys, is make sure that you are eating a good amount before you work out. You're having something pre-workout, and maybe even intra if you're into that. You don't have to. You'll have to be drinking a carb drink during your workout. I do it personally because I like that constant supply of glucose, that constant supply of energy source. And that's how I am with everything throughout the day. That's why I eat a lot of fruit. That's why I eat I only stick with complex carbs, whole complex carbs. I don't do processed stuff. So I am limited with my carbs, but that's why whatever I lack in complex carbs, I make up with my simple carbs, my fruits, vegetables, things like that. But it's a constant thing throughout the day. I'm not not eating for 2 or 3 hours, working out, then not eating again for 2 or 3 hours. So it's about a constant supply, especially if you're active. If you're like me, how active I am and all the different things I'm doing, I need that constant supply. One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make too is right after they work out, they go and binge on pizza, pastries, donuts, fairly heavy meals, because they're like, yeah, I just worked out, I can have all this. Now, depending on what kind of goal you're trying to achieve, or if you just really don't care, that can actually be your downfall. Now, most of these meals that are heavy in the carbs, they also have a lot of fat and a lot of sugars, which again is going to be a downfall. Your body's going to end up storing these fat. If you're not burning it appropriately, everything, the rest of your meals throughout the day is not kind of in conjunction with the training that you just did, and then you're eating this meal like this right after you work out, your body, it's not going to work the way you think it is. You'll probably gain more fat than you are muscle. I know that from my own experience. Now that's with me and my body type. Maybe somebody who has a fast metabolism, somebody who needs the extra calories, that'll be fine for them. But again, that's where I'm telling you, you have to know your own body type, know your own body, and understand your goals before you just jump into doing something like that. Well, that person's doing that, well, I could do it too, but it might not work the same for you. So it's understanding exactly what your goals are, what you're doing, and then making your pre and post workout meals according to that. Depending on what kind of meal you have and how fast your body digests it and processes it and breaks everything down. If you eat a large meal with a lot of sugars and fats in it, fats slow down digestion. Any fat in your diet is going to slow down digestion. So sometimes I will do a fat combined with a carb if I want to slow down the digestion of that carb, depending on when I want to go work out. So I'll do a fat in combination with that. If I don't want slower digestion and absorption of that, I won't do a fat, because then my body will respond quicker to it. So you have to take that in accord too when you do have a post-workout meal. Maybe somebody will go have pizza or something right after they work out. Yeah, pizza. You think of all the fat and the carbs that are in the combination of that pizza, you're gonna get the carbs, but it's going to be a lot slower, not as quick as you want them. It's going to be over a period of maybe 2, 3, 4 hours that your body's going to break it down, process it, digest it, because of the amount of fat that might be on that pizza. Same thing goes with donuts, various different things. So you can see how a lot plays, I mean, every little thing plays a huge part, especially if you're really focused on a specific goal. So you have to take that in account for what you're doing as well. Same thing goes for pre-workout stuff. A lot of people will do pastries and will do various different things. I'm thinking like, you know, the item has a lot of sugar in it. Yeah, it can be beneficial in some way, but a lot of that's going to be processed sugar, so you're going to get the spike and then you're going to get the crash, versus if you do more natural source like fruit, or do something in this case, you're going to have a more clean, natural, stable energy. You know, but again, it depends on what you guys want to go for, what you really want. Some people actually really want to do the pastries. They've mastered it. They know how to do it, but they most likely sat down, really went to understand how having in a pastry, a donut, or cookies, or candy. You see a lot of candy. People use candy as pre-workout stuff. They actually understand the use of that and how it's going to benefit them in their workout. I personally don't do the candy. I don't do the processed stuff because I chose personally not to have processed stuff in my diet. And obviously my body has responded really well to it and I feel great. But that's for me. And then my point is you guys got to find what works for you, what you want to do, what makes you happy, and in that process, what you can achieve with that, what success you can have with that, with yourself physically and mentally. But understanding it, again, it goes back to understanding, educating yourself on what it is that you're doing. This might seem really, really complicated to you guys, but it's actually not. It's just about educating yourselves, understanding it, and knowing it. And once you have that knowledge, then you can make your own little routine according to what works best for you. I find what I do with my own clients and myself that having the fruits, the protein shakes, especially pre and post workout, are the easiest, the simplest, and most everybody likes fruit. Don't be scared of eating fruit. I know so many people are, but fruit is your best friend in so many aspects, and I know that. I eat a lot of fruit. I depend on fruit. So this video isn't saying this is exactly how you need to do it and do it my way. It's not. It's giving you guys an idea and also educating you guys a little bit more about the pre and post workout meals, why those things are important, especially if you're trying to achieve a goal. Some people, there's a lot of people that don't even really care. They don't do that. They don't want to take the extra time for that, and that's fine. That's for them, if it works for them. But for most of us, we're trying to achieve a specific goal, and having those things in order and in the proper way is only going to help you achieve those goals better and be able to have long-lasting results too, not just a temporary, you achieve something and then it all comes back or you lose it. Just help you guys get on a better path. Hopefully I covered everything and answered a lot of questions about the pre and post workout meals and then an intra shake. There's so many different options out there, but again, it's just sitting down and understanding the different options, like, kind of investigating what you want to do, understanding your own self and your own body too, because that, like, like with everything that plays a huge role is your own body, your body type, because everyone is different and not one thing's going to work for every single person. And over the years, I have played around with a lot of things, and I'm at a point where I found what really works well for me. A lot of people who are a similar body type to me might benefit from that, whereas certain other people won't. But having these options, having this knowledge, this information will only help you guys better understand and have more success in what you're trying to achieve. Thank you guys for tuning in again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, share the video. I will see you guys on the next one though. I promise I'll be bringing more videos now. I needed a little break from videos, but I told you I was gonna be back. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Yeah.